Hey guys, it's Ica and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're gonna do like a highly requested video. We're doing a makeup tutorial for beginners. So all the products that I use for this video are drugstore products, so they're very affordable and they're very easy to get a hold of. So if you guys want to see the tutorial, then keep on watching. So let's start off that basically before you do any makeup, it is important that you moisturize your face. I only use literally a Nivea moisturizer. This is what I use. I do have a bunch of like high-end moisturizer and serum and stuff like that since I worked at Shoppers, but I always just go back to this because I'm so lazy to like think about like what I'm gonna put on my face. And then after your moisturizer, it's important to put sunscreen on. I'm not going out today, so I don't really want to put sunscreen on. I'm really bad at putting sunscreen. I already moisturized my face, and next thing you're gonna do is basically put on your concealer. I'm using the L'Oreal True Match Concealer and I'm in the shade W45. And I basically use this on a daily basis. And what you want to do is basically put this on any imperfection that you think you have. There's any discoloration and stuff like that. So for me, I put it underneath my eyes, around my nose, because my nose is like, I don't know, I have a lot of pores and stuff. I have a pimple right here. I usually put it on my forehead as well. And then I do have some like veins that show up here, so I want to put some over there, especially because we're not going to use foundation right now. So basically just conceal everything. This is the only thing that's going to give you coverage pretty much. So I like to spread it with my finger. A lot of makeup products are actually designed to be used or applied with hands or blended with. But it also depends on like personal preference. But so for me, for my concealer, I use my fingers. And I use my middle finger. I don't know why, but I always do. And basically just blend everything that I've put on my face. So, gonna blend everything. I have my mirror here, that's why I'm looking down, by the way. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit more on this because I can still see it and I don't like seeing it. I usually don't get a lot of pimples, or I don't get pimples like in general, but like from time to time, sometimes one come out, so it's really annoying. So the next step is basically we're gonna do powder on our face. You do have an option of using foundation and then setting it with a powder, but I'm gonna keep it simple and just use a powder. So the powder that I'm using is actually from my freelance kit because I don't have a drugstore powder anymore. I have here the NYC, I don't know, I think it's just a pressed powder, to be honest. I'm just gonna sanitize it with alcohol before I use it. So that's an important thing when you're doing using makeup for like other people. It's important that you sanitize in between applications. So for powder, I like to use my e.l.f. Powder brush, and it's like a flat top, and I love it. I love it because I feel like if I have my foundation onto it, like I wouldn't really mess up my foundation. And this is like the powder brush I've been using for literally like over 10 years. Like, well, not this one specifically, like I've bought multiple of these. But brushes can last for like a really long time, so it's good to invest in them. And the e.l.f. brushes are so cheap. I think this was like actually when I first got it, it was like $5, and that's Canadian. I think if you get it from like Walmart now, maybe it's like $8, $10, $12, I don't know. Anyway, so I let the alcohol evaporate, and to be on the safe side, I'm just gonna wipe it with Kleenex. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of the powder and literally just put it all over my face. It might be a little light for me, but I don't really have any powder to use, and I'm just gonna put it all over. For the foundation option, I would recommend, I have the Maybelline Fit Me here, and I'm in the shade of 220, I think. I haven't used this in a while. And they do have it in the Hydrate and Smooth, and matte and poreless. So depending on your skin type, you have to choose which foundation is suitable for you. I also have the Fit Me Loose setting powder from Maybelline. So if I do use foundation, this is something I would set the foundation with. It's important to set powder with foundation. Sorry, it's important to set your foundation with powder, but it all depends on your skin type, because if you have dry skin, then you wouldn't necessarily want to powder all over your face. So that's pretty much it for like our base. Now for powders, there's a few powder brushes that you can use. Also, you can use the sponges that comes with the compact that you get, or like I said, I have a flat top powder brush. I also have a couple other that I wanted to show you. This one is, oh my god, this is like from Claire's Hair Icing. I have like a fluffy brush right here. I like to use this for the loose powders, but you can also use it for compact powders. The other one I have is actually by Quo from Shoppers, and this is just like a big dense fluffy brush that you can use for powders as well. Next we're gonna talk about like eyebrows, because that's what I would do next if I do my makeup. So I personally like to use pencils on clients because I find it's easier and quicker. A lot of people also use pomades. I feel like pomades a little bit harder to work with, so if you're just starting with makeup, I would definitely recommend a eyebrow pencil. Or if you're really like not confident at all, there's also like something that's like a mascara for your brows. One second. The one I have is from Benefit, so obviously this is not really drugstore, so I wasn't going to show you guys. But it's basically, think about a mascara just for your brows, and you just brush it against your eyebrows, and it's supposed to give you volume and add definition. Not that like you can't really draw your eyebrows though, but it works for certain people. So for eyebrows, I have here a Milani eyebrow pencil. I think I have a L'Oreal there too, but for the most part I use like high-end eyebrows. But it is important to use the spoolie that comes with it, because when you brush your hair, then you can see like where the root of the hair actually starts. So I like to brush up first. So there is actually like a specific way on how to do brows, and you're supposed to measure it from your nose, but we're not going to go through that because it's a little bit more advanced. So if you're a beginner, I would suggest just like kind of lining your eyebrows and just following like your natural brow like shape, you know. I'm not gonna shape it too much. So if you look at the difference between the two, there's not much of a difference because I didn't really like reshape my brows. I did have to extend it because my eyebrows are so short, or like it ends like right after the arch. So, you know, basically I drew over my natural brows. I might have to like fill out some here because I do have a gap. And it's important to brush the hair after as well. I find that it diffuses the color because sometimes I put way too much, and then brushing it helps to like make it a little bit more natural. And when you're doing your brows, don't worry if they're not even, because eyebrows are sisters, not twins. That's one of the things I learned from makeup school. This is actually the first time I'm using this eyebrow pencil too. I always just buy extras and keep it in my vanity just in case. And I like to buy some of like drugstore too, so that I have something to use. Let's say if I left my makeup kit, my everyday makeup bag at my boyfriend's house, for example. Okay, so brows are done. So for eyes, because it's like a beginner tutorial and you want to keep it simple, I'm not actually going to talk about eyeshadow at all for this video. I'm only going to show you this eyeshadow base that I was using every day, like when I was in university. And this is from NYX. And basically it's an eyeshadow base, but this one it's called White Pearl, and it has a little bit of shimmer in it. So I literally just use this like as an eyeshadow. So I take a little bit on my finger, and then I take my ring finger and literally just put it all over my lid like this. So this is optional, obviously, but if you want to add something, then, you know. Okay, so that's pretty much it for eyes. Now eyeliner. I I had to look for like eyeliners. I don't really have drugstore eyeliners anymore. So the one I have here is actually just a brown shade. It's the only one I have. So for eyeliners, I would highly recommend just getting a pencil because liquid liners are a little bit trickier and you need more practice. And gel liners are the same way. So pencils are like the easiest way to go. I do recommend using a little bit of a soft kohl because the harder ones are a little bit harder to put on your eye. And the soft ones obviously, or like the gel ones, are a little bit easier. So for lining your eyes, I would just, I don't even know how to explain it. Just line your eyes. Try to get as close to your natural lash line as possible because you don't want to have that gap. So I'm just gonna go and literally line my eyes. If I have a pencil, I like to start from my inner corner and kind of just like swipe across. If I have a liquid liner, I like to start from my end. And don't worry about winging anything because this is literally a simple beginner makeup tutorial. So don't worry about winging it. You can also choose to tightline, which is basically the space like underneath like your the space underneath your lashes. I don't like the tightline. I just don't like the feeling of it. I know a lot of people do, and it all depends on your eye shape. Sometimes when you don't tightline, it doesn't look good, but for me, like, I can get away, or at least like I'm okay with not tightlining. So the eyeliner I'm using is from Rimmel, and this is just their Precision eyeliner pencil. I don't know. And we can also line our waterline. You don't have to. I know when I first started wearing makeup, I only put eyeliner on the top. I never put it on my waterline. But we're going to line it right now. So the way I like to do it is I kind of like push down like here. And I would just literally line and like not think about it because it's really not bad if you're doing it yourself. If when another person's doing it on you, then it's different, or if I'm doing it on someone else, it's different. I mean, realistically, I can put it on without having to pull my eye down, but I just find it easier. So that's pretty much it for the eyeliner. Next, what I do when I do my makeup is I go back to my face. So then I would do bronzer. So the one I'm going to show you guys, this is by Physicians Formula. This is, I think, the only bronzer and blush I have that's like drugstore. So I got it from Winners. It's $9.99 from Winners, but if you go to like Shoppers or Walmart, they have it there too. So for bronzer, I like to use a stippling brush from e.l.f. So yeah, this is the e.l.f. stippling brush. It's flat top, but it's like flimsy, so it's not dense. I just like to literally like brush it everywhere. Not everywhere, sorry. So I do my forehead. And then I would do like around my cheekbones, like my jawline, or not jawline, but like where like people would usually contour. So underneath your cheeks, like I would put a little bit there, and then I would put a little bit down my nose. And the bronzer that I would use on a daily basis is a shimmer bronzer, and I kind of like that shimmer look, especially during the summertime. So it, you kind of just look like glowy. So for bronzer, there's a few other type of brushes that you can use. So you can use a flat top like this. This is a stippling brush, like I said, but I love it for my bronzer. There's also this e.l.f. Like contouring brush. So this is like super like thin, and as the name, it's more for contouring. So obviously, like you would use a bronzer to contour as well. So you kind of just go like here. So you have that contour there, and then you can also like use some kind of a angled brush like this. It's all personal preference, so try to play around with it and see what works for you. And then for blush, I'm just gonna use the blush that came in this. I like to use a little bit more, a little bit tapered and then flimsy brush. So I just take a little bit, and then I like to smile and then kind of like swipe it back for more like a structured look versus just having like a big blob on like your cheeks. And personally, I like my blush to be subtle. I don't like seeing it too much, you know. So for blushes, I have two other brushes that I wanted to show you here. So this one is a little bit tapered but flat. And then the other one here, this one's a little bit more fluffy, but it all depends on how like you like your brushes. I do have one that's a little bit more tapered and like longer. And then for highlight, the only thing that I can think of for a drugstore is I have the Balm's Mary Luminizer, and I love this. And it looks like this. It's so pretty. So for highlight, also this is on my freelance kit, so I had to get it from there. So I'm going to sanitize. So it's been sanitized. I'm going to take a little bit and just put it on top of my cheekbones like this. And this one's so pretty, honestly. And I like to put a little bit of highlight like on the tip of my nose and just like on my cupid's bow. I don't know, that's just me. See, that highlight's so pretty. The one I use is like a flat one like this, but you can also use a fan brush like this. And this basically just like puts on the highlighter kind of like super lightly like that. Or you can use like a smaller brush. You can use a little bit more tapered or shorter like this. Just whatever works for you. We're pretty much done for the look. You can wear mascara. I personally don't like to wear mascara. Only because like I hate cleaning it off. But I'm gonna show you guys because I feel like I have to. Because it's a tutorial for full face. Not full face, but you know what I mean. So, I mean, you can choose to curl your lashes first before putting mascara, but if you're scared, then you don't have to. Everything's always optional. It's do what works for you, basically. But if you want to curl your lashes, so what you need to do is actually curl from the root and then the middle and the tip. So kind of curl 3 times. So like I would try to like go as close as possible to like the root and then press a few times. Move up a little bit, press a few times, and then the tip, press a few times. And like honestly, like I don't wear mascara, so like I never curl my lashes. Okay. So for mascara, like I mean it's pretty like self-explanatory. You just want to coat your lashes. There is a trick though to put mascara on. Is basically from the root, try to like wiggle and then like swipe up. So then like you're coating lashes, so do that wiggle motion. And my lashes are so short, so like I don't really bother with them. Obviously there's different types of mascaras. I have a lot of mascaras actually, but I don't wear them. So in terms of like the lips, I would recommend probably like you can go with either lip gloss, lipstick, or a lip crayon, whatever works, but I do suggest just wearing a nude lip, especially if you're not very good with putting lipstick on. So at least anything that's kind of closer to your skin tone, it's not as obvious if you make a mistake or it's not even or whatever. So I'm gonna use, and I would suggest not using a liquid lipstick because it takes a little bit more precision to apply it. So I'm going to use the Balm's Meet Matte Hues. They're long-lasting liquid lipstick. I'm using this because I don't have any other drugstore lipsticks. So I'm just going to use this. I do love it. It smells like mint. Another thing you want to be careful with liquid lipsticks is they tend to be drying. And right now my lips are already chapped, so I have no idea why I'm doing this. You know, putting lip product on doesn't have to be complicated. There are lip liners that you can use before putting any other lip product, but I personally don't really wear lip liner. I just don't bother. When I do freelance makeup, I do use lip liner for my clients, but it's all personal preference. Like if you're happy with like how you do your own makeup, then that's all that matters. So that's pretty much it for this beginner makeup tutorial. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions with any of the products or any of the tips or anything that I've mentioned, please just leave me a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up if you want more videos like this. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and do click the notification bell so you are notified every time I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!